Alright, so I want to go over something today that a lot of people are probably going to disagree with, but like I said before, these are just my opinions. I don't have the final say on anything, but in franchises, when you have a lot of good films in there, and then you see that one, it's just like, why? What were they thinking? It doesn't even fit with the rest of these. I'm going to name 5 movies that were the weakest link in their own personal franchises, and about 2 or 3 of them I think you guys will agree with, but the final two, you guys are probably going to be very upset, but engage with me and let me know what you think. Number 5, we have The Godfather Part 3. Released 16 years after The Godfather Part 2, which was a masterpiece, Francis Ford Coppola dumped this on us. With obvious pressure to be nearly as good as the first two, this one doesn't even come close. And I don't mean to disrespect Sofia Coppola. I understand that there was last minute changes, but her acting in this movie alone makes this film basically unwatchable. And this is another obvious one right here, Spider-Man 3. After creating possibly the 2 greatest Spider-Mans of all time, he bends over and craps out this piece of garbage. It's just overstuffed with villains, and it's an embarrassing performance from Eric Foreman. And yes, I'm going to call him Eric Foreman because that's all I saw while watching this film. Also, a terrible evil version of Spider-Man. It was just so goofy and over the top. It's hard to watch. Thomas Hayden Church deserves credit where credit is due. He did just fine. But it really didn't matter because of the terrible script. So, talk about a letdown right here at number 3, Glass. I think everyone stands with me on this one too. After Unbreakable from 2000 came out, it was a subtle but masterfully told story about an invincible man who's just in complete denial. And with absolutely no hope for a sequel in mind, M. Night Shyamalan puts out the movie Split. A movie about a man who has 23 different personalities, I believe. He kidnaps a couple of young girls at a birthday party and holds them captive. Possible serial killer angle in this film when we saw the trailer. That's good enough of a plot, right? But at the end of the movie, this sets up a showdown between Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable and James McAvoy's character from Split, making the movie Glass, a villain from Unbreakable with Samuel L. Jackson. But in typical M. Night Shyamalan fashion, he likes to take great concepts that everyone gets really hyped up for and then dump them right on their head. The film starts off with a little bit of cheese, but that's okay. Loyal fans like myself were accepting of it, hoping that there would be a great big finale and a huge showdown. But instead all we got were some of the worst action sequences and fight scenes I've ever seen in a movie, and a very confusing and terrible plot twist at the end. Maybe M. Night Shyamalan is just trolling us with these movies. I don't know, because we've seen him put out great films. Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. Now, I'm not going to take too much time on this one because I don't think it's as bad as the others. But if you create a nearly perfect movie with The Road Warrior a few years prior, you got to do better than this. First off, why was this movie PG-13? It's basically telling you beforehand that nothing as crazy and wild will occur like they did in the previous film. And I've also never been a fan of bringing in pop stars in movies to get attraction and draw in new viewers. Not that Tina Turner did a bad job. She didn't do a terrible job. It's just, I feel like they just ran out of ideas. Hence, there not being another movie until, 20 years later when Tom Hardy's movie came out. Yeah, I can feel the hate already. I just gave this a rewatch not too long ago, and I'm sorry, but I remember watching The Evil Dead a long time ago and thinking, this movie's from 1981? It's one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. I just wasn't having this goofball comedy. I felt a real sense of dread when I watched the original Evil Dead, and Evil Dead 2 blended horror and comedy perfectly. They nailed it. So where the hell was that charm in Army of Darkness? It didn't even feel like an Evil Dead movie. The effects in this movie are just dreadful, and every joke thrown our way just makes me feel secondhand embarrassment. Some of the jokes land, especially the more subtle ones. And hey, I like goofball comedies, trust me, but in this movie I just wasn't having it. There was no sense of dread. It was a full-on comedy, and this evil these evil spirits, this demonic force that we felt in the first and second one, we were supposed to be afraid of, felt like a complete joke. Now, like I said, I know a lot of you guys will probably disagree with me, but like I said before, this is just my opinion. Hit that follow button. Let me know what you think in the comments.